Hello there.
I'm there again. How are you today?
Baruch Hashem, yom yom. It's been a busy, crazy day.
I was up near your neighborhood this past weekend. I
Oh,
went to
really? Where at?
Brandeis graduation.
Brandeis. That's up in the Boston area.
Yeah, Waltham.
I know my son went. He's a graduate.
My daughter's a graduate. My granddaughter from my other daughter is a graduate. And the graduate daughter, her son just graduated.
Wow. There you go. It's a great school. He loved it. Oren absolutely adored it. And the thing is, we're here in Jersey by Rutgers. He won the presidential scholarship to Rutgers. That means tuition, room, and board all covered, plus $1,000 in his hand every semester. And when I got to Rutgers, when I got to Brandeis, Oren, Brandeis, this is at the time, it's more now, $36,000 a year. Oh,
yep.
I got 16. I got Rutgers tuition. I said, there is a $20,000 scholarship, but they only give out a handful of those. He says, yes, and my name's on one of them. I said, well, if you can get the scholarship, he did, he got it. And kids in New Jersey say Rutgers, it's like they got one of these on the end of their finger. Ew, Rutgers, ew.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And kids outside of Jersey, you got into Rutgers?
Mm-hmm.
I took some graduate courses there. I was happy. My wife got her master's there. She was happy.
So I
Who
had
knows?
one granddaughter got accepted with a full scholarship to UConn.
Ooh, okay.
Instead, she got into the honors program at Northeastern.
Northeastern, my daughter did her MBA there. It's not a bad school either.
My son-in-law was complaining. He had to pay all his money.
You know what? Can't put it in the box with us, Harry.
That's true.
So, I'd rather see that we're spending money taka on our children
Right.
than anywhere else. If we're spending it on our kids, it's an investment. Everything else, is nonsense.
Prices have gone up on colleges, though. When my first daughter graduated from Brandeis, she gave me her business card, and I said, wow, a $76,000 business card.
Something like that. I mean, listen.
It's a lot more now.
It is. Mr. Tauger, look who's here.
Al, how you doing? Good to see you.
Baruch Hashem. So you must have heard me singing to Michelle this morning. Not singing, reciting. As you remember, we last left our hero, Bernard Vincent Doily Pitt, daughter of the famous. She said, what the fuck is that? And I said, Paul will tell you what that is. Not always, but sometimes the whole thing comes to me and I can recite the whole thing as far as we went. Lombardo Margocious, Eleanor Rybread, the whole.
Oh my goodness, you have to write this down because this is all coming back to me now that you mention it.
Right. Ron, Paul and I know each other from our old neighborhood back when we were kids. We went to Bronx High School of Science together. Paul, besides being brilliant, musically inclined, is a genius. And he comes up with all kinds of stuff.
Excuse me, what year?
What year? Bronx Science?
Class of 70.
55.
Wow.
Oh, you were in the old building on 184th Street.
Yes.
Oh, no, we had the building where you could go swimming in the mural.
Right.
Wait, if you're class of 55, I want to know why I look older than you.
Jeans.
No, I'm wearing.
Harry,
jeans.
if you're there, Harry Z, we can't see your Shayna Punim. Show us your video.
I'm sorry I missed the previous sessions. I need to put things in my calendar, and I don't.
I understand how that is. I was supposed to pick up tomatoes for the missus this morning. I didn't have it in my calendar. I didn't pick up the Mike. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, guys.
Good night. Get the nacht. Good night. Can't tell sometimes between the German and the Yiddish. Nu was macht Yid? Mike, that was to you. Was macht Yid? How goes it with the Jews? How are things?
Yeah. Good.
Okay, so there are
Good.
several answers
Good.
one can give to that. Says good. The ganze Leben is good. All of life is good. Was macht der Yid? Me macht nicht wissendech. I pretend like I don't know anything. Me macht me nicht wissendech. Me kann machen a bris. Okay, we're making a circumcision. It's any kind of answer you give. Okay. Was macht der Yid? Really, if you translate exactly, what makes a Jew, or you know, what's up with the Jew? But really, how goes it with the Jews? And the answer really is not about the Jews, it's about you. So was macht der Yid, meaning you're the one single Yid we're asking about. And then you would ask, it's like saying, how the hell are you? Was macht der Yid? How's it hanging?
Was macht der Yid? I've already learned
Was
something.
macht
This
der
is
Yid?
great. Was macht
Macht,
der Yid?
for like the
That's
German,
right.
macht to make, was, what, macht a Yid? How goes it with the Jews? Or how
Macht
goes
a
it with
Yid.
you? With you, the one particular Yid we're talking about. Skate, skate, skate. It goes. It goes.
Skate.
Ich bin gesund. I'm healthy. Ich bin gesund. Ich bin gesund. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. No, frag nicht. Frag nicht. Don't ask. Was macht der Yid? Frag nicht. Oi, weiß mir. Oi, frag nicht. Don't ask. Don't ask. Es ist sehr schlecht. Es ist sehr schlecht. It's very bad. No? Was kann ich machen? What can I do? What can I make? How should it be going? It goes. All right. So yeah, lots of quick answers to that question. Was macht der Yid? Es macht good. All right. So let's see who's here. Paul's here. I'm here. My name is not FJMC International. My name is Al. I'll change that. It comes up because that's the that's the sign in for these guys. All right, let's see, rename. Okay, I'll rename. I have to remember to rename it back later. I'll get a patch. Everybody remembers what a patch is, right? And I still say it. Yeah, though that you don't want, especially a patch and punum. Patch and tuchus isn't too bad, but a patch and punum that you don't want. Short cheek. Rebecca is here. Stephen is here. Sharon is here, but we don't see your Shane upon him. Sharon, you can unmute and say hello. Mike is here. Harry is here. Deborah Schuster, we don't see your Shane upon him. Ah, hello. There's Deborah. Hello. Good evening. Sharon, are you with us? Let's see.
Yes.
Okay, good. Is your video working? Sharon?
Yes.
All right. If you don't mind, we'd love to see your Shane upon him. If you do mind, that's okay. We won't be offended. Mir geht nicht weinen. Mir geht nicht weinen. We're not going to cry. All right. I'm asking you to unmute, but I don't see that it's doing anything. That's all right. All right. Another minute, and whoever is here, and we'll move along. Okay, so we have one new person here tonight, at least I know. So Paul, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, how you heard about Yiddish Lite, what Yiddish, if any, you know, and what you hope to get out of being with us.
Okay. I'm currently living in Newport Beach, California, where I've been for the last 40 years or so. But I'm originally from New York, about half a block from where Alan lives. Or Alan lived, yeah. Let's see, what else was I supposed to tell you? What I know about Yiddish. When I was growing up, my grandparents immigrated from Belarus and the Ukraine. So when they didn't want my parents to understand what they were saying, they would speak Russian. So when my parents didn't want me to understand, they would speak Yiddish. So I speak very, very little Yiddish. I heard about this when Al was nice enough to send me an invite. I think it's more than a month ago now, 2 months ago. Well, can't hear you. You're muted, Alan.
Hey, I don't know how come I'm muted, but okay. There we go. All right. And so do you speak any Yiddish at all? A word or two, a phrase maybe?
Ein bissel.
A bissel.
I mean, I was a professional actor for 12 years, so you don't work in the industry and not pick up a lot of Yiddish. So, yeah.
And of course, living in New York as we did, it's kind of like in some respects, a universal language. You'll hear it everywhere. I don't know if I told the story to this group. I know I told it in Yiddish Alive. I was driving in my car many, many years ago, listening to CBS AM 880. It's an all news station, all news all the time. And they do a traffic report every 20 minutes. And they're going to tell you Long Island Expressway is bumper to bumper here, and the Cross Island Parkway. And they go through all of them. And then they said, and the Interborough Parkway is ungekackt, just like always. And I actually had to pull over. Ungekackt, for those who don't know, it's all shitted up. But you're listening to a New York City radio station, and the last thing you expect to hear in the traffic report is ungekackt. Maven you'll hear, mensch you'll hear, but ungekackt. I actually had to pull over. So yeah, we picked that up in New York. All right, well, welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
Because of the way we're doing things, it's not a class. So having missed a session or missing several sessions, you're just building on. And as long as you're on the list, everything that we do, all the new vocabulary and everything, I'll pass that along. Any websites that you want to see that we've looked at, we'll pass along. So nobody will be behind. So some of you come on just a little bit later. I opened by asking somebody, "Was macht Yid?" Was macht Yid? Okay. Was macht Yid? How are you? How are you? Literally, how goes it with the Jews, or how goes it with a Jew, meaning you, the Jew? So when somebody says to you, "Was macht Yid?" What makes a Jew, or they're not really wanting to know how you make Jews. Was macht Yid? How's it going with you? Okay. Ich bin gesund. Ich bin gesund. I'm healthy. Was kann ich machen? What should I make? What can I make? Okay. Anything answer, that makes you feel appropriate for the time. That's what you just say. Wir können machen a bris, wir können machen nicht wissendig, we pretend we don't know anything. Whatever your answer is. But was macht Yid? Great expression. How goes it? How are things? What's up? Was macht Yid? Okay. So anybody else that's new tonight, here for the first time? Okay, it's just Paul. Okay. Ron, hello.
Hi.
You've been with us before, yes?
No, I haven't.
You're brandy new. Okay,
Yes.
Can you tilt your camera just a little bit so we can see more? There's your Bonham face.
Oh,
Eugen, nose, moil.
Ron.
Okay, there we go. So we have everything. All right, so where are you from?
Middletown, New York.
Middletown, okay, near Goshen. We know
Well,
Middletown.
actually Monticello at this time.
At this time, this is, they say Middletown is on the way. We go up to the Catskills. We
Right,
pass
right.
Goshen, we pass Middletown,
Right,
Yeah.
right,
right up on the way. Very good. On the Route 17.
right.
And now 84 runs through Middletown, I believe.
Yep.
And now you got a real highway. Okay, very good. So where, if anywhere, did you learn whatever Yiddish you know?
I'm sorry.
Where, if anywhere, did you learn the little bit of Yiddish that you know?
Probably from my parents, and I'm taking a class also at the library, like once a week also.
Kachkadik, Ducky, Kachkadik.
But not that good at it yet, other than the words I know from growing up and hearing my parents throw it around a little and my grandparents a little.
All right. Megate Lannon, Pamelech, slowly. Pamelech.
Pamela?
Pamelech. Slowly.
Pamela. Okay.
Pamelech. Tug per tug. Tug na tug. Day by day. You'll get it. It's not a problem. Good. All right. So you may know a word or two. I think most of us know nothing. We come in with something. Unfortunately, the Italians teach their kids Italian, the Spanish teach their kids Spanish, the Greeks teach them Greek, and the Jews decided their kids were going to be American. They were not going to have us speaking Yiddish. As a matter of fact, it was going to be a weapon. They spoke Yiddish when we weren't supposed to know. And I think with the Yiddish Alive group, which is about 500 people strong, we see, 40, 50 at a time, but almost everybody on that group said the same thing. Either they came from away, which means they spoke it at home and they learned it at home. But if they were born here in the States, most of them, it was a language their parents used as a weapon. Mine too. Okay, so don't feel bad. All right, well, Ron, welcome to the group. As I said, you probably haven't missed much. Anything that I do with you guys, I keep a glossary of words and terms, and I update that each time we meet with everything new that we've learned. So even if this is your first time here, once I send it out after our meeting tonight, you'll have all of the words we've looked at, all of the phrases we've looked at, and over time, they'll become familiar to you. Are you going to come away from this group speaking fluent Yiddish? Ich denke es nicht. I think not. Ich
Okay.
denke es nicht. Aber wir können reden a paar Wörter. We'll be able to speak a few words.
Okay.
Ducky, good? Beautiful. All right, so there's a word in Yiddish. I love the word. People think it's an English word, and especially when they're talking about a woman, they talk about the word Softig. Okay? What in your mind is Softig?
Juicy.
Juicy.
Chunky.
Actually, Saft in Yiddish means juice.
Mhm.
That's true.
Oh.
So, Maran Saft is orange juice. Okay. Pomegranate Saft, orange juice. You have grape juice, Saft. Softig, juicy. But that's not how we translate it. What do we mean when we say somebody is Saft?
Hardy.
Hardy. That's a way of looking at it.
Chunky.
It could be a little chunky. You refer to a woman who's pleasingly plump, or well endowed.
Right.
Right? She's Softig. Anybody remember Toady Fields, the comedian?
Sure.
She was Softig. Bette Midler is Softig. There are even, little toddlers walk around. If you look at their pulkus, their thighs, their pulkus, like a chicken, a pulky. You have a thigh, a pulky. Okay. So they have Softig and pulkus. Okay. So they have kind of heavy set, well-endowed thighs. So we're going to take a look at our good friend Rachel Schechter from the Forvitz, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about the word Softig. So if you hang on for a second, I'm going to bring up, where is our friend? Where did she go? Nope, that's not the one. Sorry about that. Oh, that's not the one. We had it. Okay, I gotta find this again. I'm sorry, people. My humblest of apologies. There we go. Okay, let me make sure that I am sharing correctly. Let me make sure that I am sharing correctly. All right, here we go. We'll make sure that the sound is working. Are you hearing that?
No.
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 The slang
Okay,
meaning,
here we
which
go.
is
We got
Try that
it.
again.
Shalom Aleichem. I'm Rachel Schechter, editor of the Forvitz. Welcome to Yiddish Word of the Day. Today we'll talk about the word Softig. Softig. Many of you know the slang meaning, which is full-figured, pleasantly plump, Rubenesque, if you will. As in, die saftige Frau, the full-figured woman. Die saftige Frau. Die saftige Pulkis are plump thighs. Die saftige Pulkis. But many people don't know that Softig comes from the word Saft. Der Saft simply means juice. So let's say der Traubensaft is grape juice, what you might drink if you're on medication and you can't have wine for Shabbos. Der Traubensaft. Der Maranzensaft is the orange juice. Der Maranzensaft. A saftiger steak is a succulent steak. Der saftiger steak.
You'll have you repeat.
A full Meul mit Saft means filled with praise. So let's say if you were to use this sentence, wenn redt wegen ihr, when he speaks about her, hat a full Meul mit Saft. He's filled with praise for her. Wenn redt wegen ihr, hat a full Meul mit Saft. So let's review. I'll say the word or expression, you repeat after me. Saftig.
Softig.
Die saftige Freu.
Softig.
Freu. Die saftige Pulkes.
Die saftige Pulkes.
Pulkes. Der Traubensaft.
Der Traubensaft.
Der Maranzensaft.
Der Maranzensaft.
A saftiger Steak.
Der
saftige Steak.
Saftiger Steak. A full Meul mit Saft.
A full Meul mit Saft.
Wenn redt wegen ihr, hat a full Meul
A lot.
mit Saft.
Wenn
Full Oil mit Saft.
Mit Saft. I hope you enjoyed our Yiddish word of the day. Until we meet again, stay safe and healthy, or as we say in Yiddish, seid gesund.
Sei gesund.
Gesund.
Sei gesund.
Okay, as I've shared with you. Hang on. Whoops. There we go. All right, we'll get back to this one. That's out there. Okay, I will pick up periodically different things, to share. But if you just look for that, the Yiddish word of the day, you will find session after session after session that you can go through on your own, take little notes, make your own little glossary. And so you'll have a little bit more Yiddish to learn there. There is a world of Yiddish songs, Yiddish jokes, Yiddish comedy, Yiddish theater online, available just at your fingertips. So it's a really wonderful thing. Yiddish is making a comeback, not like we would probably like it to do, but if you go to the certain communities in Brooklyn, in Teaneck, here somewhere in some places in Jersey, elsewhere in the country, you will find enclaves where Yiddish is spoken fluently, even by babies, even by youngsters. So it is making a bit of a comeback, but it's part of our heritage. My thing with Yiddish, and Paul shares this, I think, a little bit from his theater time, is Yiddish is, our culture is replete with Yiddish theater, with Yiddish music, with Yiddish literature. Our whole culture was infused with all of this. And whether you are religious or not, and I'm not saying you need to be, all of that actually came out of our Talmud and Torah history. It informed us, it informed our sensibilities to bring us to where we're at. We are a unique people in the world. And look at that any way you want. I'm not speaking politically. I'm speaking about in terms of everything that we've come through and put together. And the worldview, the way we deal with things, is probably different than our Goyish neighbors. Goy is not a bad word. Okay, Goy is not a bad word. Goy comes from the Hebrew. It means nation or people. When you say Goyim, it means people, nations. Okay, if you get into the woods with that word, it can have some negative connotations. I remember growing up, and please don't repeat this outside of this area, okay, where we're doing this for pedantic purposes. One of the jokes that I used to hear growing up is I went to the Chinese restaurant the other day. I had an egg roll, wonton soup, chicken chow mein, one dumb guy. Okay, that use of the word guy, that's pejorative. Don't do that. You know, politically correct it ain't, all right? Using the word that way is fine. But if you talk about goyim or the goyim or my neighbor is a goy, that's perfectly okay. All right. So we'll worry about that. But please be careful how you use the word. It's a legitimate word, but it's only when used legitimately. Just like English. Just like English.
I have a
All right.
question.
Question.
Is Yiddish unique to Ashkenazim, or is it also used by Sephardim?
There are some Sephardim that will speak Yiddish, but mostly not. The Sephardim had their own language, Ladino.
Yeah.
Okay, which was a combination of like Hebrew and Spanish with things thrown in. Because we have moved around so much and interacted so much, even most of the Sephardim know a lot of the Yiddish words. But as a language amongst the Sephardim, no. The Sephardic Jews really either spoke Spanish or Hebrew when they were, of a mind, or Ladino. And Ladino is not making a comeback, but we have become aware of it. Even for Hanukkah, we start singing one candalika, two candalikas, ocho candalas para mí. All right, so that's actually Ladino. And what is the God? It's what happens when you get old, you forget things. In the synagogue, sometimes on a Saturday morning, when we sing Ein Kelohenu, okay, for those of you who are familiar with that, there's a Ladino version of that. And I taught it to all the youngsters, and we would sing that in our synagogue. So let's see. Non con nuestro Joe, non con nuestro Señor, non con nuestro non con nuestro Salvador. Okay, mi Kelohenu, mi Kadonenu, mi Kelmalkenu, so mi Kamoshienu, but it comes out as, in Ladino using the same words. So I don't remember all the words right now. I'm a little off. I haven't used it in a while, but we have Ladino too. So Paul, I hope that answers the question. If not,
thank you.
Okay, so we've got a lot of words we've been using, an awful lot of words, and I just want to bring a couple of them back. A maid or a maidel. What's a maidel?
Girl.
Maidel. If we say maidel, when we put that L on the end, or a maidela even more so, it's diminutive. A bigger girl, of 18, 20, is a moit, like maid, moit. But a maidel, okay. And remember the word for pretty?
Shame.
Shane. So if we have a pretty girl, we have a Shana maidel. Usually we get the adjectival form by putting an E at the end. So because Shane becomes Shana. Okay. So a Shane, Klein is small. Kleina. Klein, Kleina. So a Kleina maidel, a really little girl. Shana maidel, Kleina maidel. Okay, so that's what we know. What's a boy?
Yingle.
A yingle. Okay. And a little boy is a yingler. Okay. A kleine yingler. A kleine yingler. Yingle yingler. Okay. We know the mama, the tata. Mama is mama. The tata is tata. Or you can use, in Yiddish, we come from the German, you could say mutter and futter also. They're interchangeable. Whenever things would be, looking kind of bad and I'd be upset at something, either my mother or my bubby would eventually, invariably say to me, don't aggravate yourself. God is a footer. God is a footer. God is a father. He takes care of his children. God is a footer. So there's footer, okay? A lot of the times you'll hear a father referred to as tata, the mom and the tata. the mom and the tata,
Yeah.
okay? And from tata, we actually get a cute name for a little boy.
Tatala.
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 Tatala. Little father. Tatala.
Ah.
Or Tati. My nephews, because when they were young, I would call them Tati, Tati. I am not Uncle Al. I am Uncle Tati. I will be Uncle Tati until they die and until their children die. I am Uncle Tati because that's what I call them, Tati. Okay, so the mom and the tata. Okay, and you have a sister.
Vester.
A
Schwester.
Schwester rhymes with Esther. Esther the Schwester. Okay,
Same as
Schwester.
German.
And right, his name is German, and a brother is a
Bruder.
bruder.
Hmm.
Depending upon your dialect, a bruder, a brida. Okay, where did you come from? Where Paul and I came from, my grandparents were also Belarus. Would they more likely say brida?
Read.
But more commonly, it's bruder. And if you were taking a college course in Yiddish, they would teach it to you as bruder. Okay, so you have the mom and the tata, the Schwester and the brida, the kinder, the children,
Children.
Kinder, the children, or Kinderlach, okay, kindergarten from the German, okay, the child garden, okay, Kinder, okay, and the Kinder, we can have this Yengel and this Mädel, or if you want to speak personally, mein Sohn,
Son.
my son, my Tochter,
Daughter.
daughter, Tochter, okay, the mama, the tata, the Schwester, the bride, the Sohn, the Tochter, okay, the Baba, or Bubby, whoever you want,
Grandma.
and the Zayde.
And
Zayde, okay, so wir haben jetzt, we have now, we have now, der ganze, the total Mishpacha, the whole family. Look at that. We're speaking Yiddish. The mama, the tata, the bride, the Schwester, the Sohn, the Tochter, the Baba, the Zayde. Wir haben die ganze. Nicht die ganze Mishpacha. Wir haben vergessen die Tante
And
und the Vater. Vater. Ich habe Vater Jank. Okay. The Tante und the Vater. Jetzt wir gehen lernen ein Wort more. Okay? The Cousine. The Cousine. Okay? In our musical history, the Cousina had a special place. And there was a song back when our grandparents were coming over, and it talked about the immigrant culture. And when somebody was coming over, okay, somebody that was brand new to the country, an immigrant, they referred to them as a grina.
In a casino.
greenhorn.
A greenhorn,
Yeah.
right? Just like gringo,
I remember.
Spanish.
Yeah.
And a grina. That is a grina. He is a
Grina.
grina. And the song was about the grina
Casino.
cuisine. Okay, it's a classic piece. And if you hang on just 1 second, I have the words and everything that I will get to you later. Some of them don't translate exactly right in this translation. It's close enough for you to enjoy. Try to follow along as best as you can. And this is from a whole thing with Leonard Nimoy narrating Yiddish theater. So I just fast forwarded to this point.
For more than a century, Broadway has been synonymous with Vienna cuisine,
They messed
with
me
the
up.
Vienna Chamber Orchestra conducted by Eli Yaffe.
Hang on 1 second. There we go. What happened?
By Eli Yaffe.
gekommen a Cousine, schön wie Gold ist sie gewinnt die Grine, die Bäckerlech wie rote Pomeranzen, Fisselech, was beten sich zum Tanzen, die Bäckerlech wie rote Pomeranzen, und Fisselech, was beten sich zum Tanzen.
Notice the klezmer music in the background. This is klezmer.
Nicht gegangen ist sie nur gespringen, nicht gerät hat sie nur gesingen. Freilich lustig ist gewesen ihr Miene, hat das so gewesen ist mein Cousine. Freilich lustig ist gewesen ihr Miene, hat das so gewesen ist mein Cousine.
He speaks with my dialect.
Ich bin rein zu mein next door-care, wo sie hat a millionary storke. A Jacke gucken hab ich für mein Cousine, als Leben soll die goldene Medine. A Jacke gucken hab ich für mein Cousine, als Leben soll die goldene Medine. A Wechseln von Dämmelt und schon Juren, von mein Cousine ist das hell geworden. Hey, this Juren lang hat sie geklebt, bis wenn ihr allein ist nicht geblieben. Inter ihre bläue, schöne Augen, schwarze Posten oben sich verzeugen, die Bäckerlech, die rote Pomeranzen, haben sich schon ausgegrient in Ganzen, die Bäckerlech, die rote Pomeranzen, haben sich schon ausgegrient in Ganzen. Mein Gesicht war gegen mein Cousine, und ich frag sie, was sie machst, die Grine, und wenn sie mir mit der Creme meine, als brennt Columbus ist Medine, und wenn sie mir mit der Creme meine, als brennt Columbus ist Medine. Als brennen soll Columbus ist Medine.
That was great.
Okay, so giving you the synopsis before we do all of it, okay? Her cousin came from the old country, okay? And she's talking about the green Kazina, the greenhorn. It doesn't shut off. I'm sorry. Let me just look at that again for a second.
Yeah.
Throughout the Western world,
Okay, we've
it
got it.
probably is still the most famous Yiddish.
There we go. Okay. There we go. So yeah. The whole thing is that she's come and she tells how beautiful she is, and gorgeous, and her feet, she was so lively. All she wanted to do was dance. She skipped instead of walking. She sang instead of speaking. She was happy and merry and full of fun. Wow. But she went to the lady next door. I mean, the new person needs a job. She's got to eat, right? So she went to the lady next door who owned a millinery store, and she got her greenhorn cousin a job there. And this is the Golden Medina. It's a great land, America. The Golden Medina, the Golden Land, the Golden State, the Golden Country. And says, then later, many years have passed. My cousin is turned into a wreck. She slaved away in the millinery shop all those years, and now those cheeks, those ruddy orange cheeks, not so much. And she's aged. She's lost her greenhorn glow. She's not so thrilled with America anymore. Okay, it's not everything it was promised to be. All right, so she says, nowadays when I meet my cousin, "Was machst du, Green? Was machst du?" I said earlier, "Was machst du?" Okay, How goes it with you, Greenhorn? And she answers with a foul expression, a crooked expression, a crippled expression. Columbus's land can go to hell. Give me back what I had before. Okay, so it's that kind of a story. This is Jewish humor, gallows humor. We find it in so many of our jokes, stories, theater. Everywhere you go, you will find this kind of a thing. All right, so let me see. Hang on a second. I know I have this up here. I want to share screen again. All right, there it is. Okay, can everybody see that? Okay. So here are the words. And again, I have all the new words will be in your glossary and in your new words list today. Es ist zu mir, there is to me, okay. Gekommen, came, a cousine, a cousin. She came from the old country. Schein wie Gold, gold is gold, okay. It's a cognate, same in English and whatever. Schein wie Gold is sie gewesen, she was as beautiful as gold. The Grina, the greenhorn. Die Beckler, her cheeks, Beckler, her cheeks. Wie reute Pomeranzen. Reut is red, okay, and notice reut there because it's adjectival form. Reut, red, red adjective. Pomeranzen, oranges. Okay, we had a friend who knows about Pomerantz. Pomerantz's last name was Orange.
Aren't they pomegranates? Could they be pomegranates?
No, pomeranzen are not pomegranates. I honestly, I don't remember right offhand the word for pomegranate in Yiddish, but pomeranzen are oranges. Okay. Also, you heard her say maranzen. Okay. So yeah, those are oranges. But when you say reute pomeranzen, it's like blood oranges because they weren't really orange. They were kind of reddish orange. Okay. Fisselach. Okay. Remember we said fuss, feast? Where Paul and I come from in Belarus, it's feast. Okay. In a lot of the other places, it's fuss. And we would say ein feast, zwei fuss, but you know, whatever, ein fuss, zwei feast. But whatever it is, it's changed. So fisselach, little feet. Was beten. Bet is to beg. Okay, was beten sich. They beg themselves to dance. They beg themselves. Beten sich. It's reflexive. It doesn't translate reflexive, but that's how Yiddish is, like a lot of foreign languages. Reflexive. Beten sich, they beg themselves to dance. Okay. So nit gegangen. Gegangen is went, but it also means walking. It's a multiple translated word, and I'll show you that again in your glossary later. Okay. Nit gegangen is she didn't walk. It says here gesprungen. If you heard her say it, she said gespringen. I would say gespringen. Most of the Jews who are not from our area would say gesprungen, which is more like the German. Okay. Nicht gesprungen, nicht gespringen. For those who fully understand Yiddish, the dialect won't matter. They'll know exactly what the word is. I sometimes get confused. I'm really good, but I'm not fluent. Okay. Nicht gegangen, not walking, is she. Not only just gespringen, skipping. Nicht geredt hat sie. She wasn't speaking. She didn't speak. Nor only gesungen. Gesingen, gesungen, however you want to pronounce that. All right. Only singing. Freilich, happy. Lustig. Yeah, there's so many ways. Lustig is fun, but it's also another synonym for happy, lighthearted, enjoying yourself in life. Freilich lustig is gewesen ihr Mina. Mina, demeanor, think demeanor. Okay, her personality, the way she conducted herself. Mina, demeanor. Mina, demeanor. Okay. Atazai, like that. Atazai, like that, such. So such was meine Cousine, mein Cousine. That was my cousin. She was just like that. Ich bin rein. I went inside, literally. Ich bin rein. I went inside to my next dorke. This is not Yiddish. This is Yinglish.
English.
My upstairs, the upstairs, the next door, okay? This is Yinglish. This is not Yiddish. I went to my next door neighbor, okay, and to the lady next door, was sie hat, who has a millinery storke. It's not a storke. We learned the word for a store. A store is a kram, Krom in English, Yiddish, a kram. But again, English, a millinery storke. She has a little millinery store, a job, Geschäft in Yiddish, a Geschäft. Okay, so job is English. A job gekriegen, I would say gekriegen. Paul's people might say gekriegen. A job gekriegen, habe ich for mein Cousine. I got my cousin a job, and it says green on here, but it doesn't say anywhere green on the Yiddish side. So they free translated. As Leben soll die goldene Medina. As Leben. So long live the golden land. As Leben soll die goldene, gold, okay, they're things. And Medina is a state. Medina is Medina Israel, okay, the state of Israel. But America is the golden Medina, the golden country, the golden land. So Medina translates in those three ways normally, okay? That's where we're going. A vegzenen von demolt. Demolt is really two words. Dem old. The old. Okay. A vegzenen, they went away, the old years. Okay. The shine already, the old years are away. They're translating it as many years have since passed. A vegzenen, away went, the old years already. Von mein Cousine, from my cousin, von mein Cousine, if you translate directly, from my cousin, is a tel geworden. Now, a tel, really, in Yiddish, in Hebrew, it's one thing. In Yiddish, a tel is a valley. So, okay, is a tel geworden. She just sunk into a valley, and they translate that as my cousin has turned into a wreck. She just sunk to a new low. It was, a tel. She became a valley. She became nothing from where she was. She was on this great high. Her feet wanted to dance. She had rosy cheeks. She skipped. She sang, and now she's in this valley. Okay, so a telgavoin. Pidus. It says paydays, but it isn't. It's Pidus Jordan Long. Okay, Hadziga Klibben. She slaved away. She worked for many years. It was just hard labor. It was no joy from it at all. Okay, she got no nachas from this. All right. Bis von ihr allein, until from her herself, ihr allein, it's again reflexive, is nicht geblieben. There's nothing left of her. Geblieben. Ibn gebliebene blinzes, leftover blinzes. Geblieben, leftover. Okay. There's nothing left of her. Under, they're pretty much cognates. Era is her era. Okay, that's adjectival. Bloya, bloy is blue. Bloya is adjectival form of blue. Okay. Unter der Bloya, Shana, Shane, pretty. Shana, again, adjectival. Eugen.
Eyes.
Eugen, your eyes. Okay. Schwarze Passen. Passen is kind of hard to translate. Schwarz is black. Schwarze, again, you have the E at the end. It's adjectival. Schwarze Passen, like black bags. She's got bags under her eyes. Haben sich verzeugen. They say it appeared. They developed, so to speak. Verzeugen. Not a word you're going to use often. Die Backlach, the cheeks. Die rote Pamperanzen, these ruddy oranges. Hab sich shine, again, sich, it's reflexive. Haben sich, they have shine already. Shine already. Shine already, shine. Kim shine, come already. Okay, shine. Ausgegrint. Now, here's a beautiful thing to know about Yiddish. Ois means out. Gearois, go out. Ois is out. Ois genemen, ois gepishen, ois gepatchen. Anything that has ois in front of it is out. So she says here, ois gegrint. Well, green, we already know. The grina, ois gegrint. The green is gone. It's out. The green is out. So it says here, ois gegrint in Gansen. They lost their greenhorn glow in Gansen in totality. All of it. They lost all of their green glow. Everything was there. In other words, that mentality that she had, that view of the world, that greenhorn view, is gone. It's the greenhorn is gone. Entfert answers sie. She answers mir. She answers me mit with a krumme. I say krim. Some people say krum, but krumme is adjectival. Krim, crippled, crooked. Okay, so crippled smile, a crooked smile. And Mina, now they're calling Mina an expression, but it isn't an expression. It's really a demeanor. It's the way she's conducting herself. So she has this really bitter outlook now. As Brennan, Zol Columbus's Medina. Columbus's land should burn. Bren. From Pripyat, Brent, a fire. Remember the song? On the pot-bellied stove, a fire burns. Brennan, that's plural. As Brennan Zol Columbus's Medina. As far as they're concerned, America was Columbus. You hear people say, a broch to Columbus. You know, when they're upset about something. A broch to Columbus. It's really translates directly as a blessing on Columbus, but really it means a curse on Columbus. A broch to Columbus. So Columbus's land can go to hell. So this is the song, the Grina Kazina. It's one of our grandparents' favorites. I mean, I know from nostalgia, I've heard my grandparents sing it. If we happen to have some Yiddish music on the radio, WEVD was the big station in New York. They had, I used to listen to Art Raymond, Avram Yitzhak on a Sunday morning, Hebrew songs, Yiddish songs. And you can still find, there's a website that has Yiddish news, Yiddish sports, Yiddish talk, Yiddish music, Yiddish politics. It's really above, you know, where we're at in our ability to verstehen, to understand, unred, to speak, but it's out there. It's available. All right, let's see how we're doing on time here. 8:44. Okay. So I really want to, again, I'll send this to everybody later, but I wanted to take some time to look at some of the other expressions we've used. So where did I put this? Let's see. No, that's not the one. All right, give me a second. Hang on for just 1 second. All righty, there we go. Now I'm back and I can do this. Okay, so this is the thing that I send you guys all the time. And see, we've got an awful lot of stuff here. Again, notice that at least on screen when you get it, there are things that are in blue. Everything that's in blue is the new stuff we did tonight. But I want to go back and look at some of the things that we've played with. This one in particular. All right. Ashenem dank dir im Puppik. Ashenem dank dir im Puppik. Okay. A pretty, what's your problem there? Mein Tochter is da. Sie kriecht da rein. She's creeping around. Sag etwas zu den Menschen.
Etwas zu den Menschen.
Okay. That's meine Tochter. What can I do for you? I'm running a group here. You need my phone. Nah. Na, here, na.
Hashem dank dir.
Es ist nicht Yiddish.
Not in their puppet.
No, okay, not my puppet. Okay, because a Shanam Dank is thank you, a pretty thank you. But if you say a Shanam Dank dir in Pupik, okay, a pretty thank you in the belly button, what does that really mean? Thanks for nothing. A Shanam Dank dir in Pupik, thanks for nothing. I really didn't need that. So somebody does something, and that's how you'd answer them back. A Shanam Dank dir in Pupik, okay? An alter kaka. How many people have heard this one? An alter kaka. Okay. I am an alter kaka. Okay. Kaka is not a nice word. You can think what cocky is, you think about the English, but it even though it's not a fart, which is fart, an alter kaka is an old fart, an oldster, somebody like me. Okay. An alter kaka. Okay. Balabusta. What's the balabusta? Most of the women in our homes are the balabusta, okay? They're the boss. They're the one that makes everything happen in the home. The husband may be the balabus if she lets him be the balabus, but she will always be the balabusta, okay? Here's a word we haven't done yet, and I'm not going to put it on the list today. Aberia. 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 B-E-R-R-I-A-H. Aberia. A woman who's a balabusta has everything under control. She runs the household, but a beria is a balabusta on steroids. There is anything she can't do. She cooks, she cleans, she sews, she makes her own clothes, she knits, she needle points, she bakes. Anything you can think that the woman could do in the home and still raise the kids, bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, never let her husband forget he's a man because she's a woman. This is a Betty, okay? But a balabusta. Okay, Beklach we learned today are cheeks. Bavamaisa. Bavamaisa. I want to go back over that because we've talked about that before. It's not a Bubba Misa, although it has become that in the parlance of the streets. Bubba Mises, Bubba Mises, Bubba Mises. But that's not really correct. It is a bova misa. Back in the day, really long time ago, they had stories where the protagonist's name was Bova, okay? And so these stories were known as Bova Mises, Bova tales. Over time, it became a Bubba Misa, which we now translate as an old wives' tale, a grandma's tale. But really, what does it mean? Bubba Mises. You're full of hooey. That's nonsense. You're full of stuff. All right. Bubba Mises. So either way you pronounce it, if you want to be, really correct, you say Bubba Mises, or if you just use the vernacular of the streets, you call them Bubba Mises. Bubba Mises are fairy tales. They're nonsense. One of my friend's mothers used to watch TV in the afternoon, all afternoon, the soap operas. And she referred to them as the Bubba. I have to see my Bubba Mises. I have to see the Bubba. So all the daytime TV was Bubba Mises. Okay, where else did I want to go with that? Here's a nice word for you, not for polite company. Drek. Really, you can use drek nicely, and you can use it to really mean just what it says. Drek, it's crap, it's garbage, it's not worth anything. Okay, what are you bothering me with that drek? Why do you bother me with that drek? Why would you bother me with that drek? Okay, on MASH, Hawkeye says it at least once or twice. Am I saying them down there? Nicht in Public. Sei mir gesund. Be well. Sei mir gesund. Okay, so drek. You can say it to mean just what it says, but you can also be, that's drek, that's garbage. What are you buying that drek for? You get an allowance, Bubby gives you money, Zadie gives you money, and with that you buy this kind of drek. Or you see the stuff they put on themselves, cockamammies, whatever. Pavus Turgis dein drek. What are you wearing that shit, that stuff, that garbage for? Okay. Drek mit Siegen Bupkes. This is a beauty. Drek mit Siegen.
That's a
Get
new
the
one.
tiny goat turds. When you say, I mean, goes one beyond trip. Direct mit Ziegen and Bupkis. You know, what did you bring home? What did you bring me? You brought me direct with Ziegen and Bupkis. What am I supposed to do with this? It's insignificant. There's nothing here. This is direct mit Ziegen and Bupkis. Okay. Bupkis can also mean beans. If you ever seen goat turds, they look like little, yeah. So some people
Never had the pleasure.
Bupkis as beans. If you say I have bupkis, I have nothing. Okay, so bupkis gets around. Drek, garbage, shit, crap, insignificant stuff. Drek mitzigen a bupkis, really? What are you bothering me with this for? Hak mir nicht kein Chinik mit dem Drek mitzigen a bupkis. Don't bang on my tea kettle with this shit with tiny Dover. Don't bother me with this nonsense. Okay, so Drek, Bubba Mises, Drek mitzigen a bupkis. Okay, we're in the same place. Okay, so I said earlier, was macht a Yid? Was macht a Yid? Es macht nicht. Es macht nicht. Doesn't matter. It makes nothing. You know, ich mach nicht. I make nothing. Okay. Es passt nicht. This is a great line. When I was a youngster and I would say something that was a little out of line, or I'd be behaving that was out of line, my Baba would give a geschrei. She would holler, Alan, es passt nicht. Es passt nicht. Die nicht azoi, don't do that. Zog nicht azoi, don't say that. Es passt nicht. It doesn't pass. It doesn't go. It's not proper. It's not right. Es passt nicht. Mit tunnit zogen, the verstunkene goyim, the stinking goyim. Es passt nicht. Mit tunnit zogen azoi. See, guy is a good word, but if you say it in the wrong way, Schwarzer is a perfectly legitimate word. That is a Schwarzer. Ich wohne mit Schwarzes. I live with black people. Oi, those verstunkene Schwarzes. Oh, those stinking black people. Sag nicht azoi, es passt nicht. Mit tunit reden azoi. We may not speak that way. Es passt nicht. Okay, there's certain things I'd like to tell a lot of our politicians on all sides of the aisle when they say certain things. It's passt nicht. It's one of my favorite lines for our ex-president. Believe it or not, Paul. That was one of my favorite lines for him. Shut up, it's passt nicht. Okay. Es wird helfen, via Teut im Bankes. Es wird helfen, via Teut im Bankes. Es wird, it will help. The P and the F are the same in Yiddish and Hebrew, so they're interchangeable almost. Es wird helfen, it will help via a toit, like a dead one. Toit is dead. In bankes. Bankes are cups, and now it's coming back. They're actually using this in physical therapy to do some things with pain and whatever. Bankes was a set of cups, looked almost like shot glasses. And what you would do back in the day is they would take these cups and they would heat them up very hot, and they would put them on your back or on your chest, and it would create a suction as it cooled down. The whole idea is that the suction was going to suck the poisons out of you and make you healthy again. So if you were sick, very badly sick, they would put you in bankes. Okay, and that would be to make you better. Es wird helfen via Teutenbankes. It will help like cupping a corpse. By the time the person is dead, you can put the bankes on. You're not sucking anything out of it. Okay, what does it really mean? Es wird helfen via Teutenbankes. It's a dead issue. Or as my Italian friends would say, forget about it. Forget about it. It's all over, okay? Es wird helfen via Teutenbankes. These are things we've done before. Okay. Let's see. I want expressions. Oh, here we go. Everybody knows this one.
Oh, yeah.
Kaken off and yum.
Yay, kaken off yum. Yay, kaken off yum. Go shit in the ocean. Okay. Are you really telling the person to go drop their drawers and take a load in the ocean? Of course not. Get cock off him. Get out of here. What are you bothering me with that dreck? Geh weg mit dem Dreck. Geh kacken auf dem Jahr. Was for a Dreck is this? Okay. Go shit in the ocean. Or you can really mean that if you're upset with somebody. I mean, that's passt nicht zu reden also. It's not nice to speak that way, but you could say that. Okay. Geh kacken auf dem Jahr.
Alan, I have to ask,
Yes.
I noticed there's a lot of scatological phrases. Is that
Oh, yes.
typical of Yiddish? Is that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We as a group of people, we don't generally use the really vulgar curse words. They're there and they be said. I mean, but it's not often that I'll hear a Jewish person holler out, and please excuse me, this passionate Suzogundos, Trenzich. Go yourself. Okay. It's there. Tren, reflexive verb, zich, do it to yourself. Trenzich.
Stop it.
Yeah, don't say that. Okay. That those are just not things. We have those words, but more likely we will use things like drek, tuchesvetik, whatever. we try to keep it. People will say mamzer too, but they don't really mean bastard when they say that. Most of the time they're referring to a little kid. Ah, he's such a cute little mamzer. Okay. Are you calling the kid a little bastard? Of course not. You're not saying anything about his parenting. All right. It's just a word. We try not to use those, but scatological, oh yeah. And pishachs also. Pishachs. Okay, it's this T. It's like pishachs. It's like,
Go to bed.
who's talking here? Okay, I don't know if we're getting some interference or what. Okay, so yes, there are a lot of scatological urine and feces do come around. All right, we're running out of time, so it's going to do two more. Hak a china. Hak a china. A china is a teapot. Your chinik is a teapot. Hak is another word to hit or to bang. Hak mir nicht kein china. Hak mir nicht kein. Don't bang on my tea kettle. Again, don't bother me with that crap. Geh weg mit dem direct. Okay? Hak mir nicht. Hak a chinik. You talk is hak mir nicht kein chinik. You talk too much. Go away. Hak a chinik, to bother, to talk too much, to talk nonsense, to be a pain in the tuchus. Okay? Hak a chinik. And then on the other side, hak mir nicht kein chinik. Hit me, not any teapot. If you want to translate directly, hit me, not any teapot. Hak mir nicht kein chinik. All right, and as long as it's here, one more thing. All of those curse words, all of those scatological references. Ich darf es haben wie a Lochencup. I, darf, need, es, this, haben. I need to have this. V, like a loch, a hole in cup. I need this like a hole in the head. Ich darf es haben wie a Lochencup. Okay? No, man hat nicht mehr kein Zeit. We have no more time. Siz spät. Siz spät. It's late. Siz jetzt. It's now 9 a Zeger. 9 a Zeger. 9 on the clock. 9 a Zeger. Siz spät. Mit darf weggehen. We have to go away. Oh, nicht weinen. Don't cry. Nicht weinen. 2 Wochen. 2 Wochen. Zurück. 2 weeks forward. 2 weeks forward. Wir geht sehen in unserer Menschen noch einmal. In 2 weeks forward, we'll see our people another time. Noch einmal. Yeah?
Yeah.
Before we go, haben wir Frages? Haben wir Frages? Do we have questions? Efsha, maybe. Efsha, same as Hebrew, by the way. Efsha maybe in Hebrew, maybe in Yiddish. Efsha, wir haben Frages. Yeah, Juliet?
I heard you say that it's 9 o'clock. 9, using the pronunciation 9. We always said 9, and 19 and 90. Have
Okay.
you heard that?
Could be. Dialect is depending upon where you came from. There were Jews in Germany, there were Jews in Poland, in Hungary, in Czechoslovakia, in Russia, in what we call Belarus, which is now really the Ukraine. Belarus is not the same country as it was when our grandparents were there. That was still part of the Ukraine, but they called it Belarus, White Russia. Okay, so depending upon where in the world you've come from, your dialect is going to be slightly different. Everybody knows Litvak and Litziana. Okay, Litvak is the
Right.
Lithuanian, which is all the way on this side, and then you have Belarus, which is all the way on the other side.
On
Two
the other.
opposite sides of Russia, opposite sides of the continent almost. So depending, I mean, listen to how many dialects we have here in the United States. Even in the United States,
Yeah.
if you go to Boston, you pocket ka and Harvard Yard. Okay, and if you grew up where I did in New York, you boiled eggs, and you put Earl in your car, and your girlfriend's name might be Poyle.
Yeah.
Crazy as that sounds. Okay, depends where you come from. In California, they speak a little differently than we speak in New York. They don't say things like water, dog,
Anger.
D-A-W-G.
Yeah.
Anger.
Okay,
Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
I went to school in
Yes.
Plattsburgh, New York. You guys down in the city, you know four things: the city, Westchester, Long Island, and upstate. As far as we were
Yeah,
concerned,
right.
everything north of Westchester was upstate. So somebody from Albany, wait a minute, Westchester's downstate. But I had a roommate from Delmar, New York, just outside of Albany. And I pick up accents quickly. So I came home asking about my dog and drinking water and coffee. And people wanted to know what the hell I was talking about, because I used to have a dog, I drank water, and I drank coffee. Okay, so it depends where you come from, Julia. Long answer to a short question. Noch, was noch? Was noch? What else? Was noch? Was noch? Andere Frage? Another question? Be gesund, as long as we're healthy. Nu Menschen, I get the Nacht, and I get the Zane spät. Okay, we'll see you later. And in a little while, as soon as I get done here, I will send everything out to the whole group. So you'll have the updated stuff. Remember, I send several sheets. One is just the new stuff. One is your actual glossary, everything we've done to date. You're not going to remember all of them. Pick up the ones that make sense to you. Pick up the ones that make sense to you, the ones you're going to use often. Some of them I'm going to keep dumping back to the back page, which are things that you'll almost never use. We use them in a a poem or a story or a song, but they're not really common. Think about the common ones, especially I gave you the names of the family people. So we'll have all that. All right. Sei mir gesund.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Al.
Thank you, Al.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank
Okay.
you.
2 weeks from
Okay.
tonight.
2
All righty.
weeks.
All right.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.